You know that feeling at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep? That thought that keeps circling back, the business you didn't start, the conversation you didn't have, the chance you let slip away. Most people think waiting for the right moment is wisdom, but here's what actually happens. One person acts despite the fear and builds something real, while another waits for certainty that never arrives. The difference isn't talent or luck, it's understanding one psychological trap that keeps intelligent people frozen. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's holding you back and how to break free before another year disappears. This isn't another motivational speech. What I'm about to explain is a documented cognitive pattern that derails even the smartest, most driven people you know. Your brain has a survival mechanism hardwired over millions of years. Avoid discomfort now. Worry about consequences later. It prioritizes immediate safety over future fulfillment, which creates a dangerous illusion that postponing feels like protecting yourself. Most people think waiting means being thoughtful and strategic, but neuroscience shows waiting is often just fear, disguised as planning. Let me give you an example. Sarah wanted to leave her corporate job to start consulting. She told herself she'd launch once she had 6 months of expenses saved. Then it became a year. Then she needed one more certification. 5 years later, she's still in the same cubicle, and the savings account hasn't grown because the goalpost kept moving. This happens to CEOs, doctors, and people who've achieved incredible things in other areas. It's not a character flaw. It's a universal human pattern. The question is, are you going to recognize it in yourself before more time passes? Here's what most people miss. Inaction doesn't just cost you opportunities. It costs you something far more valuable: your identity and self-trust. Every day you don't act, you're not just delaying results. You're creating what psychologists call compound regret. Just like compound interest builds wealth over time, compound regret builds doubt. Each postponed decision makes the next one harder because you're training yourself to be someone who doesn't follow through. People think the risk isn't acting too soon, but the real risk is becoming the person who always waits. Look at these patterns. You're waiting to launch the business until your finances are perfect, but every month the market moves and your confidence shrinks. You're waiting to have the hard conversation until the relationship magically improves, but the resentment deepens and the words get harder to find. You're waiting to pursue your dream until your skills are fully developed, but the gap between where you are and where you want to be keeps widening. This creates decision debt, the mental weight of choices you haven't made. It sits in the background of every day, draining your energy and fragmenting your focus. You feel it when you see someone else doing what you plan to do. That's not envy. That's your future self mourning what you're letting slip away. I want you to do something right now. Picture yourself at 80 years old, sitting in a quiet room, looking back at this exact moment. Now think about the specific decision you're avoiding, not some vague future plan, but the actual thought that brought you to this video. See it clearly. When you're lying in bed tonight and that thought resurfaces, will you have done something about it? Or will you have added another day to the pile of some days? Here's what most people don't understand. Those persistent thoughts that won't leave you alone aren't anxiety. They're your internal wisdom fighting through layers of rationalization and fear. Most people think these haunting thoughts mean something's wrong, but they're actually your future self sending you a message. The thought doesn't haunt you because the decision is dangerous or wrong. It haunts you because somewhere deep down, beneath all the excuses and logic, you know it's right and you're ignoring it. So here's the uncomfortable truth you need to hear. That thought will either haunt you as regret for the rest of your life, or it will liberate you the moment you finally take action. The choice is simpler than you think. So let's talk about what you're actually going to do. Research shows that if you don't act on an idea within 72 hours, it has a 90% chance of dying completely. That's why you need a protocol, not just motivation. Here's how it works. First, within the next hour, not tomorrow, not next week, but in the next 60 minutes, define the smallest possible first action. Send one email, make one phone call, write one paragraph, something so small you can't talk yourself out of it. Second, within 24 hours, tell one specific person what you're doing. Create external accountability. Make it real by saying it out loud to someone who matters. Third, within 72 hours, complete that first micro action, no matter how imperfect it is. People think they need a complete plan before starting, but action creates clarity, not the other way around. This isn't about being reckless, it's about escaping the perfectionism trap that keeps you frozen. The goal isn't to have everything figured out, it is to prove to yourself that you raise someone who acts despite uncertainty. Imperfect action today will always beat perfect planning. that never launches. Always, you already know what thought brought you here. The one you've carried for weeks, months, maybe years. Right now, you have a choice. You're either going to close this video and let another day pass, or you're going to do one thing differently in the next 60 minutes. Drop one word in the comments describing your first action. Make it public, make it real, because here's what I know. The fear of failure will haunt you for a moment, but the certainty of never knowing what could have been will haunt you forever. Don't let that be your story.